Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my first video, and I'm going to tell you guys about a thing that happened to me the other day. And I think I'm gonna have to create a name for it, but I'm gonna call it the car creeper incident. So everybody knows what a creeper is. You've all encountered them. They stare, they leer, they stand really close to you in line. But car creepers are kind of unique because, like, you're in your car and they're in their car, and there's this natural boundary, and like you don't know them and they don't know you, but they want to know you, and you can tell because they're like. And this always happens when you cannot actually leave. You're gridlocked, you're broken down if you're really unfortunate. Some obstacle is stopping you from going places, and you just, most of the time you just kind of suck it up and let them stare. You do not have to do this, because this is what happened to me the other day. This is like Monday, and I was coming home from class, and I got caught by the train. This is crappy. This is like the forever long train that stretches from here to Hades, and I'm just looking down the track, and like as far as you can see, it's like train tracks. I'm going nowhere. I figure I'm going to be here for at least 15 minutes, maybe forever. So I just kind of sit back, turn my music up, look at my rearview mirror, see if I'm still cute. I am. And I'm like, start to feel it. It's like the spidey sense. And I start looking around. And I look around and I'm like, ah! And there's this guy in the car next to me, and he's doing this. And I'm like, oh. So I look away. Figure, it was just an awkward moment. So I look over again, and there he is, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, gosh, ew. He's like old, too. He's like 35. So, after a few minutes, I'm sitting here, I'm like trying to ignore this guy. Everything in my power to just, not see him. Leaning up against the window, turn my music up. But no, I know he's still staring at me. I'm like, and there he is. And I'm like, I don't even think the guy's blinked. He just sits there. He's like, and I'm like, oh. And this train is still just going by, and I'm like, am I going to have to deal with this guy just leering for the next, 15 minutes of my life? No. I decide, no, I don't need to deal with this. I do not need to deal with this guy. I have too much on my plate right now to deal with this creep over here. I mean, seriously. So I formulate this plan after slyly checking to see if he's still staring, and he is. I slip my car into park, and then I ostentatiously ignore this guy. I stare at my dash clock for 2 whole minutes, just watching the numbers click, and then it changes, and the minutes click by. And then without warning, I turn around and I slam myself up against the window like this. Ah! And the guy's like, ah! And I'm like, so after a minute I kind of look back over and like, and he's like, looking everywhere but at me, and I'm like, that's right. That's right. And it was awesome. I mean, it worked like a charm. If you ever get a chance to try this, you absolutely should, because, I mean, it's just perfect. I mean, they scream like little girls, and they drop things, like coffee, cell phone, pens, whatever. And things go flying. You gotta be careful. They might let their foot off the brake and, like, cause a wreck. So, like, be judicious when you're doing this. And then they're just like, they're going to be like completely abashed. It's awesome. Because, like, not only did you catch them leering at you and being a car creeper, but, like, you totally owned him at the same moment. It's just the best thing ever. And then, like, the best part about it, whatever is keeping you guys stationary, it's going to move. That train, the caboose is going to go by, and then you can drive off. And you can leave that guy hyperventilating in his freaking little Camry, and he's going to be, like, forever changed. He will remember this. I mean, he thought he was just getting, like, staring at a girl, and that girl made him scream like a freaking toddler. That's awesome. He will not tell anyone about this incident because he'll be ashamed. But at the same time, you know, you will have done a public service, because that guy ain't never going to stare at anybody ever again. So, go forth and scare people.